Vroom, 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 vroom. Honk, honk. Get in, losers. We're going struggling. Vroom, 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 vroom. Hello, friends, and welcome to another Ride in the Struggle Bus where every wheel is an empty triangle. So we're going to be shifting a little things with the channel because as winter looms ahead, I'm actually going to get back into studying. And unfortunately, I've tried to do this in the past. I really can't juggle making a lot of content while studying at the same time. So things will be probably slowing down a little bit. With that said, I am going to try to record a lot of the games that I play, and so that's what we have here today. So a player who I played in the in-person tournament earlier this year, as well as the league that I play online, he reached out to me and asked if I wanted to play a jubango against him. And I thought that that would be a lot of fun. And so we set that up, and this is the first game. So Howard's a little bit stronger than I am, but not so strong that I can't keep up with him. And in the last two games we've played, we're 1-1. So we're somewhat equally matched, though he is a little bit stronger. But either way, we're going to go play our 10 games and see how it goes. And we'll try to learn something from that. Also, with this game, we end up getting a review from Octo, who is the Don from the Don and the Q podcast. So if you're familiar with that, you'll get to hear his voice as he gives us some commentary at the ends. If you're not familiar with him, go check out the podcast because it's pretty cool. Also on YouTube, I'll put a link in the description. So, as per always, I'd like to thank our opponent for playing us today and reaching out to set this up. I'd like to thank you guys for watching these videos, and I'd like to thank my Patreon subscribers for supporting the channel. So let's get into game number one. Okay, let's jubango. We got black this game, so hopefully, and that doesn't matter. I actually don't care what color I get these days. But at least we get to start things off the way that we want to. But the game's going to be crazy because Howard's going to make it crazy. But that is okay. Okay, so we wanted to do mini Chinese. He decided to jump in. That's fine. We'll just go do the Kosumi here. Keep ourselves nice and strong. White would typically take a base here, but I suspect that he will likely pincer. Or maybe Tanuki entirely. He does take the base. That is fine. So do we just want to go double approach? Sure. Let's go do the double approach. I'm not as comfortable as I should be with the double approach, which is why one of the reasons I kind of force myself to do it so that we learn. But let's see which side White chooses to attach to. He's most likely going to play F3 or D6, and we will Hane whichever one he plays. Okay, so after some thought, our friend has chosen to attach at F4. So we will go and play the Hane. White is going to extend. And so the question now is, what do we want to do? Do we want to jump into the 3-3? Do we just want to push? Do we want to attach? Those are the options. And you want to know what? I don't know the difference between the options. I don't. They've got slightly different results. I know if I push here, White's going to play D3. And then we can look at making the extension here. I kind of like that. It pressures these two stones. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to extend. White will typically play D3 here. And then when we go make base, White may attach at D6, can kick at C5. There are a multitude of options. Howard extends, and I want to go protect this cut. And I'm looking at H3, J3, K3. K3 I've eliminated because then we don't really have a good response for H3. If we cover on top, he extends, we cover, he plays the Hane, and he'll connect underneath, it'll be pretty bad, and then we're still left with the cut. J3 I don't like because of H4. We then block, and then he gets the Atari at G5. I don't like that. So I'm just going to play H3. Just a nice clean way to protect the cut.
Gaining strength over here will also potentially weaken these two stones, though white can extend at K3 to get strength there, but then we're able to push and threaten the Hane at the head of 2. So white needs to shore this up first, often just with a kick at C5. So let's see what white chooses to do. Okay, so he's attached up top here. And I know that the Hane, in general, right, when you get attached, you want to Hane or extend, and Hane if you can manage it. But I'm not sure what we really get. If we Hane, he Hanes, and then we connect, then he can kind of pincer. We're strong, we can run out. But I kind of like just extending. That way, if he extends, we can go take the corner or keep on extending. If he Hanes, we can then go play something like D10. So I'm actually just going to extend here, which may be wrong, and we can take a look at that after. But I'm going to go and take this, just go make a little base here. And I think this is better, but maybe the Hane is the more proper thing to do. Well, that is a nice aggressive response to this. Maybe showcasing that C10 was better, but it is a broken Kema. And so I feel like we should probably just go and punch through, keep white's stones separated. If white extends, we can look at the Atari into the tiger's mouth, or just playing the Hane directly, which also obviously threatens the tiger's mouth, but I think I'd rather take the Atari first. I'm curious to see where white is going to go with this. And Howard responds with E9. I like this move quite a bit. So this is kind of showing that this wasn't a great shape move. If we play D8, he'll push, we'll Atari, he'll Atari, will capture, and then he'll ladder this stone. So I don't really like that. So I'm considering just playing the pinch here. And if he extends, we will go underneath. And if he pulls back, we will connect here. So I think that's what we're going to play. So let's go see what this turns into. Okay, so he tanukis. I am surprised by this. So I think it's probably worth going and getting some strength here. There's a lot of Aji that I don't really like. We can look at extending here to get a base. We can also just look at capturing this stone, which kind of leaves this stone floating in the middle of nowhere. But I'm not sure I want to put another stone into this. We can also look at taking this Atari and then the Atari. It'll just crunch him up a little bit. And, and is the corner alive? Probably, but there will be a lot of Aji there with a move like C2. So we could look at that. I'm not sure it's Sente. So that's one thing that we have to consider. We certainly don't want to play a move like this if it is not Sente. So I think just from a strength perspective, I do just want to play this. It eliminates a lot of Aji, keeps this stone pretty awkward, because if this stone gets strength, all of a sudden we really have to start caring about this. So let's just go take care of this right now, just to keep the group strong. That is the only reason we are doing this. And then white goes and takes their Tanuki. That is fine. We will respond to this, which builds nicely off of these two stones, develops our potential here. So white's building potential here, we're building potential here. Things are mostly even now, which is how things are typically going to be during Fuseki, right? I make a lot of there's a lot of decisions that went into this one because it got a little chaotic pretty quickly on us, but generally at the beginning of the game, the decisions don't matter too much as long as you don't blunder something. As long as you don't blunder a corner, blunder a side, the decisions that we make aren't going to matter too much. It just kind of creates the landscape of the game. The way that I've heard it explained, which I really liked, is like Go is an area control game, right? That is That is it. Fuseki is just creating the map for your area control game. So you create the map and then you play the area control game. So we're creating the map right now. That's pretty much what Fuseki does, as long as you are playing, moves that make sense. Of course, for much stronger players, it's a little different, right? There are much more strategic decisions that go in, but for us single-digit Q players, we are not there yet. Okay, so we have an interesting decision to make, and that is so we're going to Atari here. Let's be clear. We're going to play this move. The question is, are we going to pull back or are we going to play here? So what is more interesting, this area or this area? I don't know about you guys, but I think this area is slightly more interesting. So we're going to play this variation, which you guys are probably not too familiar with. It's easy to mess up. It complicates things, but we play this when we are looking to when we're looking to kind of change directions, take the side. White will typically Atari here. We will extend, and then white will typically extend here, and then we are going to go take this little Atari. And if white extends, then we will extend again. We can also play the diagonal. That is an option as well. This kind of trades the corner for both sides. So this is me saying specifically that this left side is more interesting than the corner. So that is the intent of this direction change. Okay, so after the Atari, so we can extend or we can play the Kosumi here, and I'm going to play the Kosumi. It moves a little faster in the direction that I want it to move, but it doesn't apply as much pressure onto these 3 stones, but they're still in trouble if white doesn't respond, right? White needs to save these 3 stones. They're too heavy to give up if we get a move like N14 here. So white will typically jump out, at which point we'll have to jump with this group, right? Because then this group will start to get surrounded. But it creates a very interesting board state, and so I do like that. I do like interesting board states. So it's good to mix things up. But more importantly, this was a decision that was made with purpose. I did want to stop the development on the upper left side. So that is why we chose to do this. Okay, so white does jump out. I'm going to play the bamboo breaker. This threatens to kill the 3 stones if we're able to play 015. And so that is what we're going to do. We're going to play this, get a little more strength for our stones. And again, 015 threatens to kill these 3 stones. So he can't just extend. He can look at playing N16. But I'm not sure what that gets him. And if this forces some hideously ugly shape like that, then that feels pretty good to me. So let's go and get ahead of this group. So the question is, which one of our groups is weaker? Is it this group or this group? And I think it's this group. So we're going to jump out here to get ahead. This also helps develop the potential on the right side of the board, but more importantly, keeps our group strong. That's the important thing here. I think 5th line is a little too much, so we're just going to play this. It still gets ahead. It still threatens something like a Hane at 013, but I suspect that white will play something like M14, at which point we can go play a move like J17, get a nice base for this group, and white's just kind of left with this floating group. This is a dangerous move. This is a very dangerous move. And the reason it's dangerous is it creates another weak stone. So if we play a move like R8, it attacks this stone, but it's next to a weak group of whites. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to play this move, pincer this stone, and as this stone runs, we will chase it on this side, which will threaten these 5 stones. So we should be able to get some kind of profit out of attacking this stone. It's important when we're looking to attack stones. The goal is not to kill stones. The goal is to get profit somewhere. Where is the profit going to be in this? Well, if we split here and this group and the white group needs to run out left and this group gets to go out left, we are going to be building actual points here. We're going to be getting actual territory, and white's just going to be trying to run. So we can play a move like this, which weakens these 2 stones and weakens these 5 stones. White can't let either of these groups die. Both of them are too big. So the question now is, how can we keep the pressure on this group to develop some potential and strength over here? Can we just play the attachment? Can we handle the cut? I think we can handle the cut. So if we attach and white extends, can we just extend? I believe so. The thing we have to worry about, though, is we have to make sure that this group doesn't get too weak on us, our group here. And so if we play here and white extends, and then we play here and white extends, now we're getting separated. So I'm wondering, is this a move we can consider playing to force white to continue that way and have us get our territory? And I think just making sure that we keep this group stronger is important, because there are 3 weakish groups on this board right now. These 2 stones, our group, and then these stones. As we make this group stronger, it'll make both of white's groups weaker. So that is why we're going to strengthen the one in the center here. Okay, so white does jump out. That is not surprising at all. So the question is, are we going to go play a move like this? The white's group's pretty much out of trouble now, which is fine. White hasn't gotten anything other than a group out of trouble. And so we can play here and get some, get some potential, or get some territory rather. I'm also considering this peep at Q9 just to get it first. It'll strengthen our group up here. These 2 stones, they're not going to be cut. So actually, yeah, let's go do this. We'll threaten this cut. I suspect white is going to connect there. And now we can look at doing something like this to go after these stones some more, get some strength in the center. The question is, can we endure a move like L17? And I'm not sure we can. So I think I'm just going to go make a base first. Just go play this move to help strengthen this group. This does look like, it does get territory, but it wasn't played to get territory. It was played to get strength. We're in the middle game. The important things to consider are strength of groups and potential. And the strength of groups is much more important than potential. We don't care about points yet. We just want to make sure that our groups can't be attacked easily. So that was what this move is for. Coincidentally, it also gets us some territory, but that is secondary to, or I guess tertiary to, the other 2 factors that I typically focus on in the middle game. I do think that white needs to do something with these 3 stones. So I'm curious to see what white's plan with those stones are, because they're kind of in a weird spot. But he's committed to save them. So is he just going to jump out? Is he going to turn? I don't think he can play the knight's move, because we'll just push and cut, and I think that'll be a little problematic for him. So I'm expecting either the turn or the jump. Well, that sure is a spicy move, isn't it? Our friend does not have much chill this evening. That's okay. That's okay. So the question is can we give up these 3 stones? Well, let's ask the 3 questions. Question 1. Do these 3 stones affect the life and death status of any other groups on this board? Yes. 017 isn't alive yet, but it's very much alive if these 3 stones die. So we have to save the stones. We can just stop right there. So I think we have to connect and see where white wants to go. White's probably going to play L17 if I had to guess, and we'll cover. If he extends, we'll cover. And I'm not really sure what white's going to get out of this. I feel like white's going to be a little careful, because if we get some good strength here, these stones are going to be in trouble. And if we're able to attack those stones, then we'll be able to get more strength and then be able to attack these stones and get more strength and be able to attack these two stones. And so it's just going to be this like cascade of attacks. Of course, those are tough games to navigate, but we have to try. So white did not play what I was expecting. If we cover here, the crosscut is pretty annoying. So I'm considering the pinch here. Just gonna do some reading, but I like what the pinch offers, and so I think that's what we're going to play. A little more advanced of a move, but when white plays here, we can go and play this. Okay, so this is interesting now. Do we want to go and poke things here? I don't think so. I do wonder if we just want to consider playing this, though, just to get more strength, and it'll threaten some things on this group too. So I am just going to extend, get one more liberty here. And if white plays the Hane, then we can Atari and kind of force bad shape on both of us, which seems fine to me. So, and otherwise this threatens to kill the two stones, which we're not going to do. We're not going to capture the two stones. But again, this just gets us some more strength. If white had taken this turn, now that F17's here, I think it would have been a little too good for white. Worth noting, these three stones do not fully secure this corner. And don't worry, guys, I have absolutely no idea how to use that Aji, but we are going to try. We will learn it together. That is one of the points of playing these games, is to learn. That's another reason that we want to play a move like this, because if we get strength on the outside, then we have some more forceful responses or more forceful probing moves that we can make against the corner. But that's going to be a later thing. This is just something that's going to be on the radar for a while, that these three stones do not fully enclose this corner. If they did, we would see this all the time. And so the question is this going to be Sensei? The whole point of this game was that I was going to play here, but I don't know if this is Sensei. Because if I play here, and he snookies and I capture, he just gets to play here and Atari's the stone and connects. So, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best. But our group is nice and strong now, so that is fine. These three stones still have not been dealt with, so let's go harass them a little bit. So where are we going to get our profit? It's a good question. We can also take the exchanges here. Looking at a move like 04, and that way we can build some strength and push white towards it. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go play a little move like this. Get some lean on this group to get some strength with this this exchange, and then we will go and attack those three stones. And white feels the pressure and jumps out here. So can we follow this up? I think we can. So let's go follow this up, because I think my group is strong enough here, because we've got enough. We can run towards our friends here. White isn't quite strong enough, and so do we just want to do this as the follow-up? Sure, let's just do this as the follow-up. Okay, so now white plays here, and that's fine. We can go take this Atari, and then there are two cuts that we have to worry about. Which one is the more important of the two? That's the cut that we need to answer. And I think this side is more important, and so we can protect this cut, or we can protect this cut. I think this is the more important cut. So let's go and just connect this. Yep, and so white now needs to go play moves like this to try to live in the corner, and that's fine. Now we can look at forcing moves against this group since we have some strength here now. The question is how strong is our group? Can we play a move like this and risk the cut, right? Because if we play here, white's just going to push and cut immediately. And I don't think we can do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to play this diagonal, which moves out a little bit ahead of these stones. Stays strong though. I did want a more aggressive move. I did want something like L10, but it's a little problematic. White does have a lot of liberties, and it just seems a bit too dangerous. So let's just get our strength and be able to play our forceful moves like this, and keep white, keep white at bay this way. And so as we attack these stones, where's our profit going to be? Our profit's going to be here. Maybe we can turn this into some real points. Okay, white plays that. That seems pretty dangerous. That seems dangerous. I feel like we are pretty obligated to take this cut. I feel like we are obligated to take this cut. We're going to take this cut. This is one of those cut first, read later. We are too strong to back down from this fight, so we have to take this cut. We've got strength on the left, we've got strength on the bottom, we've got strength here. So it's going to be really hard for us to get in trouble here. And yeah, if white's going to Atari the cutting stone, that's pretty good for us. Okay, so now can we get away with this Hane? I am unsure. I'm unsure we can. Because if we play here, white's going to play here, which threatens the double Atari here, so we'd have to connect, and then white gets this Atari, and we connect. And it's not fun. It's not fun. So let's go play our extension. Stay nice and strong. White's not out of the woods yet. So, but white's not going to die. Okay, so white has taken the cut, which looks to cut this group off. If we Atari here and white extends, it threatens to kill these two stones. I'm taking a look at this peep and then this Atari, because then we get to connect. I kind of like that, because it threatens these stones. If we take the Atari first, white connects, and then we play here. And then if white plays there, we get to block, or cut rather. So maybe this is the way to go. Let's go play this peep first and see what happens. Fortunately, neither ladder works for white quite yet. So let's go and play this and then go connect. So let's see. So if we play here, that will kill these three stones. So I think that's what we have to do. So let's go play this. Okay, white plays there. We're just going to play the bamboo joint to take away some forcing moves for white. It's better shape. Okay, and so white has found, most likely found a way to live. I think that's an okay enough exchange. I think we need to worry about this group now. So let's go play this peep here, which unfortunately does take the peep away at L15. I realized after the fact that L16 is not good, but L15 was going to be a good way to go. Okay, things are getting pretty spicy here. I'm going to take this Atari to force white's stone up. And then we will extend to K13. And then when white pushes out, we will push out as well. Okay, so white has played this Atari. if we play here, white's going to be able to Atari and then go out. So what we're going to do is we're just going to Atari these 2 stones. And then we are going to play here, which threatens to Atari this and cut this off. So this gets us some strength on the outside. And now this is Sente. So we will go and take this, which forces the connection. And we want to help this group a little bit more. And so let's go jump out here, look to connect up our groups. Though I feel like we have seriously lost control of this game. This game kind of feels over at this point in time. But we will continue playing it out to see how it goes. Okay, so we will most assuredly take this. Okay, we're gonna go big here, guys. We're gonna go big. This ladder does not work, but we will get some stones on the outside, and we might be able to cut white off here, which would be pretty cool. And so we are going to go take the ladder. Nope, doesn't work. Doesn't work. Too many cuts. Too many cuts because there's a double Atari here. So we have to connect this. Okay. We're going to attempt to push through here. And then I think we're going to fix this cut. And we'll see if this gets us anything. But again, I think this one's over. I hastily played through this as a last ditch effort, but I wanted to play a move like this, but there's too much here. There's too much here. So let's see. Yeah, because if we play here, he's just going to connect up. We still don't have an I here. We still don't have an I here. And so I think this game is over. We lost control of this fight. That's what ended up happening here. So I think we're going to throw the towel in and see where things went wrong. Okay, so we've resigned the game, and I'm taking a look at AI, and I can see where the mistake is. And it's funny because I was having a discussion with a buddy today, and he was constructively criticizing my play as being a little too aggressive. And of course, I was defending. I was like, no, I'm not too aggressive. But the reason we lost the game was because of this right here. If you remember, we played this and allowed this cut for white, which is where everything just fell apart. And this is a weakness of mine. And I know this is a weakness of mine. And yeah, I got a little too bloodthirsty. I was like, oh, I can continue attacking this. But you want to know a good way to continue attacking this? Defend your cuts, right? And we can turn AI off. We don't actually need to see like all the craziness. But so what? So white's going to do something like this, and we're still fine here. We can actually even just give these 2 stones up at this point in time, I think, because we would probably need to protect stuff over here. But tough to say. So actually, let me turn AI back on, because I'm curious if we play here. It just wants this. Okay. But then, life gets a little tricky here, but we'll be able to live. But either way, this cut was huge. Huge. Yeah, it was a little foolish to do this, to try to continue attacking a group when I've been saying all along, hey, strength is important in the middle game. And so if we allow white to get this cut, then it's too much. And so, yeah, so if we had played here, still very much game. Actually, AI says black's up by a little bit, but still so close that it doesn't matter. It's within Comey. But that's the big takeaway here for now. Okay, and so actually we do have time to go run into a review here. We've got a stronger player who some of you may recognize. So let's go do the review. Okay, guys, so here we are in the review, and we happen to have a special guest. We've got Octo, who is the Don from the Don and Q podcast, and so he's going to be helping us with this review because he watched a good chunk of the game. So anyway, Octo, let's dive into the game and see where I sucked.
Okay. Not much going on here in the beginning. This is fine. I would say after this move though, go here.
Yeah, I did mention while I was playing this. So I admittedly don't know the double approach Joseki's well. And I certainly don't know their intent, like their like nuanced intended outcomes. And so yeah, so I mentioned in the video, I'm like there are differences between playing E3 and D3 and C3, and I have no idea. I'm like, so I'm just picking one. So anyway, I'm curious to see why this one over E3.
Oh, just because the bottom side isn't very good for us
Yep.
because of that low white group.
Yeah.
This creates some flexibility. So if white really wants the bottom, okay, we got a really easy corner out of it.
Yep.
They'll probably do something, and we're probably gonna get Sente out of it.
Yep.
If they want to really go for the left side, okay, now we have a more stable looking group here.
Yep. Yeah, and I know
Right,
this probably just plays into.
something
So
else.
I know a lot of your philosophy with Fuseki is direction of play stuff, and so yeah, so this I can definitely see how my choice in Joseki played towards white stones, and that's not really what we want to be doing.
Yeah. I do actually, I don't see it a whole lot, but I actually love this double approach. Um, yeah.
You don't see it a lot. Shows
No,
up
I
shows
don't.
up a lot in my games.
Okay. But yeah, we kind of got stuck down here.
Yeah.
This is fine. I was trying to think of a good move for you here without giving away too much.
Yeah, I spent a lot on this move. And that's the best I could come up with. I obviously, D8 doesn't work because of the ladder. And can we show the people the ladder that I'm talking about? If we play D8, white pushes, we Atari, white Ataris.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, and then the ladder there. So that's why didn't really want to deal with this one. Actually, the ladder works for white, right? Yeah, it looks like it does.
Yeah, it's good for white.
Yeah. So that's why I didn't want to go that way. And so this was the first of two pinches that I played in this game. It seems to work, but I'm real curious. Okay, so I played the pinch and then white tanukis.
You might be able to get away with this one first if we can sort of trick white.
I didn't think it was Sente. That was the issue. Is it Sente?
Well, if
white ignores and plays D9, like, are we really in an okay spot here?
Yeah, probably. Because we could get something like this out of it.
Yeah, maybe that's fine. Yeah, because it does leave white's lower group in trouble that way.
It's still a little messy though. I actually think I kind of like your move. Yeah. Kind of strange, but I do like it. I don't think you needed to play this one. Yeah, I actually think you have Mii here.
Okay, so it's interesting because there's two sides to this, right? Side one is if the pinch worked and white tanukis, then I should be able to tanuki, right? But I there was a lot of Aji, and I just wanted to stay strong. Yeah. But like,
now, good for you. I like that.
It feels slow. This is not my typical style. Except it keeps the group so strong that it's gonna help. Like, it's gonna help later in the game, just not having this Aji. And I figured it was okay to spend the move. It gets us like 8 points on the side, which isn't a lot, but keeps it. But from a strength perspective, is pretty good. But yeah, I did question. I hem and hawed on this one. But hindsight being what it is, I saw the AI graph. I know that the game was really even for a long while, so I know there were no big blunders. So that makes me feel a little bit better. But yeah, this was a tricky one. So I'm curious on your thoughts. Would you just leave that?
I think maybe I need to read it more. I could be wrong. I
Yeah.
could be wrong that there actually is a problem here.
Yeah.
So you know what? Let's just say you're correct.
Okay,
And
sure.
this is good fundamentals, destroying the or reducing the AGI, solidifying your group. Good for you.
Okay,
You know.
I'll take it.
Yeah. This is fine. Now I do have a question here. What was your intent with this move?
Okay.
With this choosing this Joseki?
So 2 things. So thing 1, I need to play around with this Joseki more. It's this move in particular I'm timid to play just because it complicates things, right? And so I don't play it a lot. So I have very little experience with it. The other thing is my understanding, at least, is this is changing directions and saying that the left side's more important than the corner, or the upper left side, the top side is more important than the corner. And I thought that was the case here. Like that was ultimately the decision. Was I think the top is more important than the corner. So that is why I decided to go this way. I saw this as with having the Kosumi at the lower right, that we had some good strength on the right side, and that it was gonna give white a floating group that I'd be able to do things with. And for the most part, the game did play out that way. It did play out the way I wanted it to in terms of white having that awkward group in the middle. Of course, things fell apart, but it wasn't easy for white, and it's because I did make a blunder. But that was the intent here was twofold. One, I legitimately thought it was the correct choice from a Joseki standpoint to change the direction to go to the upper left side, and I also wanted experience with it. So those were the reasons. So first and foremost, because you haven't seen the intro here, I'm starting to get back into studying, and so I'm trying to play more games against stronger players. Like I can certainly keep up with Howard, but he's a little bit stronger than I am. But so I want to try some things to learn, right? And so I don't want to just do the things that I've always been doing. So that's why I'm doing the double 4/4 approaches more and chose this. So lots of words, but it came down to I thought it was actually an okay decision, and I did want to practice it.
I think I got half of my guess correct. I was hypothesizing that you wanted to explore this Joseki, not because you necessarily thought it was the best choice, but maybe you're bored with the other common lines.
Yeah. I do think this is like the most boring Joseki in the world. Also, I mean,
I don't blame you there. I kind of do as well.
I play it a lot, but I'm never happy as white. I'm never happy as black. It's so bland. But I
feel the exact same way.
But if I
hate it for both colors.
Yeah. But if I thought that this was simply the better thing to do, I would have done it.
I absolutely would have played this way just because I think the right side, because later on you press here and this right side could blow up really fast.
Yeah.
But if you are worried about the top, you could still play this way and then do something like this to just reduce the whole thing.
Yeah.
But okay. This is all fine. I looked it up later. This is technically a move. I'm so used to seeing this one.
Yeah, I know they're both moves. I don't know the pros and cons of it. This obviously takes a liberty away from white. M16's obviously better shape. So it's like, which do we take?
Yeah. Hard to say.
Yep, I agree.
I don't like this move very much.
Okay.
I know it's a shape-breaking move. Oddly enough, this is something that Max, MX Hero of Go, yells at Pagogo for all the time.
Really?
He's like constantly trying to get him to stop playing moves like this. Now his are a little more belligerent than this. It's not quite as finessey as your move. Like you're making shape and breaking shape at the same time.
Yeah,
I think you could very, very simply
that was the other move I was considering. But I was like, it's a good shape, obviously my eyes are going to be drawn to the bamboo breaker. And in this case, right, it breaks his shape. because O15 threatens to kill the 3 stones, which is just game over. So I saw it as a free move. But it's not like so it's tough. I don't know.
I'm a little guilty of these types of moves as well. So it's all part of the learning process. I could have jumped a little bit farther.
Yeah,
here,
I read
that's a
yeah.
That's a tiny whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
Oh, this move is so aggressive.
So aggressive. So it of all the moves he played, well, that's not true. C8 really surprised me. M18 surprised me a little, but of all the moves he played, this is the one that surprised me the most. This is just like it's so violent, right? Like he already has a weak group on the board.
Exactly.
And so here I was like, okay, we're in a good position now. And these are the types I like attacking. I like attacking. So
this is fantastic.
Yep.
This is good. And you keep going. And you thought for a really long time.
Yep.
And it is tough.
Yeah.
Because I
think that one's fine, right?
It honestly, I am so guilty of making these peeps, and they always backfire. I don't know how to properly evaluate these because I feel like I've seen so many pro games where it's like make them heavy, you know. But at the same time, as soon as they connect, they have a ton of liberties.
Yeah, and it takes away the Q11 peep. That's often that's something that I always try to point out when people play bad peeps is this is like it makes them heavy, but it removes the Agi on the other side. And as we saw in this game, that did become very relevant. So I think this probably, in hindsight, is a mistake. And so I'm willing to accept that because I know I understand the risk when we play this, but I was like, I'm making them heavy, but but it also it gives them a ton of liberties. So
let's not call it a mistake though. This isn't anywhere near game ending. At best, this is an inaccuracy.
Okay,
but you shifted to the top. And in all honesty, I wasn't really thinking about how desperate the top was. The move that I was just screaming at you.
Yeah. I mean, that's the obvious move, right? Like it's huge. But the top. The thing is, so
I know
it's just the top, right?
So
White's gonna be able to get out of this, right? And yes, it's like clearly we're gonna be able to attack the white 3 stones here, and we're gonna get profit. The issue is I'm worried about a move like L17. And the issue is that I see that as a more severe attack than on these 3 stones, and I see it as larger. And that attack, like obviously I can't read it all out, but I have to assume that whatever attack happens up there, it's going to end in Sente for white. So white's going to get that monster attack and then just has to deal with this one weak group and the game's over. So that was the concern. This move is kind of against my style. But I thought I needed it for strength. And I am definitely guilty in that no, I did not fully read out what L17 does. This was a hunch, more of an intuition move. I was starting to get a little low on time. I know it's only move 55. But I played really slow this game. Yeah, and even so, he still just jumps in immediately.
This is an interesting forcing move simply because we don't always have our liberties completely filled over here, and when we don't, for instance, let's just pretend we have, or tell you what, let's just pretend we have an open liberty right here.
Yeah. Just generic, not like ignoring the fact that yes, Q18 is a capture. We are just talking. Let's say
I can't get it right.
Yeah. No, I understand. Let's just say Black has more than 3 liberties here.
Yeah,
that is the important part.
If you have an extra liberty here, there's actually a really sneaky Tsuji right here.
It's L8. It's L18.
Yeah. I was staring at it for the longest time, and I'm like, oh wait, he doesn't have that extra liberty.
Yeah.
This will never work. So this was an interesting Sente move, but he should not have followed it up. This is really bad. He should have just left it, and what he should have done was taken this point away from you. And now we're feeling a lot of pressure on that group.
We are.
So I was waiting for the longest time. And here, can't we just play this way?
The crosscut looks really concerning.
Is it? Can't we just we can live pretty fast here.
Yeah, I just didn't like the outcome of it. That's all. Okay, so backing up. So J16 is my time to play N10 now, right? We're fine. We're clearly fine now.
Yeah. This. Or I'm sorry. What move did you want to play?
This right here.
Oh, okay.
And I was preparing for it. So I took the extension at J16 because I didn't want him to get it because it was big, right? Like I still want to keep his group a little, like I don't want his group. I guess the top group is too strong to do anything with at this point in time. So maybe that was a little foolhardy to take that extension at J16, but that was the intent. And he did follow it up. And I'm curious. Yeah. So now I did this to prepare for the attack, but he obviously saw that, and I kind of went into autopilot because like this is the follow up. This is what you do.
Right.
But I guess it's not truly sensei. Yeah, this is probably keeps the game comfortable for Black. I still think this I still think this game's comfortable for Black here.
Well, not only is it helping this group, suddenly we're taking a little more control of this portion of the board.
Yep, which makes a move like D8 look better. Right?
Yes. And let me change colors here. We can also see it's kind of like putting into question, what is this white group actually doing?
Right.
So this N10 move at some point, maybe I have the timing wrong, but at some point this was such a crucial move.
It feels like the right time to me. It's like this is where the game turned around, is when he ignored this and he played N10 himself. This is when I felt a shift in the game. I was like, okay, like yes. Yep. And it's like I can't play L10 here. He's too strong. The groups, not the player. I mean, the player is strong too, but the groups are too strong. I can't play L10. I'm just gonna get cut. And so I had to play the diagonal. So this is where the game. I mean, AI still says Black's up by a little bit, still, but it's within Comey. But from a human perspective, this is when I started losing control, I think.
So what you might have been able to trick him into playing is this way, and now you can play L10.
Yep. That's not really a trick though. L13 is Sente.
Yeah, there might be some other sneaky way to answer it that I'm not really paying attention to. But
okay.
Yeah, maybe we could have gotten away with that. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. See, this whole sequence right here.
Yeah.
This is fantastic Ki, but
what's Ki? What's Ki for the viewers at home who don't know what that means? I mean, I obviously know exactly what it means, but the viewers at home might not know.
Of course, Ki is fighting spirit.
Of course,
This whole sequence is fantastic fighting spirit.
Yep.
One thing, there's a concept that isn't really talked about too often in fights is how often you have to protect your weaknesses, and we get so caught up in the sente of a fight. I have to keep the pressure. I have to keep the pressure no matter what. The problem is, as soon as you give your opponent an opening, you have generated a counterattack for your opponent.
Yes.
And it is such an annoyance to sort of start this fight, and you've got the momentum, and then you feel like you just have to stop everything all of a sudden to protect a weakness. You've given up the initiative. It's critical.
It is.
It's so critical. You have to slow down and protect the weaknesses. Otherwise, your opponent will counterattack.
Yep.
So we had to protect this somehow. I mean, I do like the solid connections. Maybe we could get fancy with a hanging connection.
Yeah.
But
I always get in trouble with hanging connections. But yeah,
cut immediately.
Yeah, and then it just falls apart here. So yeah. And at this point in time, I think now white's just solidly ahead. And it turns that quickly. But yeah, I needed to protect that cut. And it's funny because that's consistently my weakness is in these tricky situations, the cuts. It's always the cuts that get me.
Yeah.
But yeah. Because yeah, there's nothing we can do now, right? Like if we play K12, he extends, and now that threatens the K10 stones, and it's just it's too much. Too much. So yeah, so I think I don't think there's much more to go over. The big miss was not getting N10. Like obviously that was a move I needed, and I still think I needed J17 first. But once I got that in Sensei, because I pretty much got that in Sensei, I needed to come back to N10.
Yeah, you both needed it for the longest time. It was so crucial for both of you, and he just happened to win the race.
Yep. Well, I let him, right? Like J16 is just kind of a little silly, but like, yeah.
Well, you never know what your opponent's going to answer or not answer. You know? It's hard to tell sometimes.
Yep. So, all right. Well, thank you for your insight. I do appreciate it. So
no worries. Great game.
Yeah, thank you. Well, enjoy your weekend, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, have a good one.
Okay, you too. Okay, so that was a fun little review. Again, that was Octo from the Don and the Q podcast. If you are not familiar, he is the Don. So go check that out. They are on YouTube as well. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed our first game of our Jubango. Hopefully we can keep these games interesting. So anyway, as for always, thanks for coming out for another Ride and Struggle Bus where every wheel is an empty triangle. Have a good one, guys.